I've had a blast here. I'm, again, really proud of the work I did on the podcast with Melanie, but I'm so excited to see John and Andrea, you both take it to the next level. So this is kind of a special transitional episode, but really, really special to be here with you both. Welcome to It's Settled, the Amitros podcast. Each episode, we're going to dig into the humanity in workers' compensation and insurance claims, exploring the stories of injured people and those who support them, as well as the good work professionals are doing in the industry. And now, I invite you to join me, Shawn Dean, General Counsel at Amitros and the host of It's Settled. Now, it's settled. Let's get on to the episode. And I'm really excited to be joined by John Kane and Andrea Mills of Amitros to talk about transitions. Things change all the time. I'm looking up at my skylight and I can see that the leaves are changing and the seasons are changing, and things are changing here too with the podcast. And it's going to be transitioned over to John and Andrea, and I'm really excited that they're taking over. They're two people that I care a lot about. They're good friends of mine personally and incredible people within the workers' compensation industry. We both share some connections here to the Medicare Secondary Payer Network. I'm past board member and past president, and Andrea and John currently sit on the board, and John's current president. And I've known John even further back at Liberty Mutual. And last 4 years have had such a great time with them and working with them and helping to better the lives of individuals who've settled out workers' compensation claims. And I couldn't be happier to hand over the proverbial reins to them with the podcast. It's really been a passion project for Melanie and myself here. And over 2 years and over 20 episodes have gotten to speak with incredible people who've overcome immense obstacles, and as well as their family members too, whose worlds were turned upside down with life-changing events that occurred with respect to on-the-job injuries, as well as some amazing people within the industry who work tirelessly to serve these types of individuals. So I've had a blast here. I'm, again, really proud of the work I did on the podcast with Melanie, but I'm so excited to see John and Andrea, you both take it to the next level. So this is kind of a special transitional episode, but really, really special to be here with you both. And I guess just for the viewership, I don't know, Andrea, you want to go first? Tell folks who you are and kind of what the vision you and John have for the podcast.
Sure. Thank you, Shawn. And we have super huge, shoes to fill here by taking over the podcast from you. And we're really looking forward to it. But I'm Andrea Mills with Amitros. Been with Amitros for 6 years now, currently the Chief Client Officer, have held a couple different roles here at Amitros. But, most proud to currently serve as our leader of sales and marketing, and working really closely with our clients and hopefully our future potential members to bring solutions to them that provide value and also provide value to their lives that they're leading if they're a member of ours. Been in the workers' comp space for about 15 years now, and really, really excited to take over this podcast and spread our wings doing that and have that other media under our belt, I should say. And hopefully, we can bring to you episodes and things in 2024 that are engaging, that pique your interest. We still want to keep on the track of providing information and insights and stories from our members, but also other industry leaders that, I may come across or John may come across that we can bring to the table and bring to you for those listeners. So John, I'll pass it over to you to intro yourself.
Thank you, Andrea. John Kane. and I am the Vice President of Strategy at Amitros. I've worked for Amitros now for 3 years. Prior to that, I worked for Liberty Mutual for about 30 years, so mostly in workers' comp. However, I also ran their Medicare compliance department, so I've been doing Medicare compliance for about 20 years. I also helped with the professional administration with Amitros, partnering Liberty Mutual and Amitros together. One of the things I firmly believe in is professional administration. When I retired from Liberty, my number one company that I was looking at was Amitros, and I really appreciate what we do. I believe in the service and helping the injured worker post settlement, so that we're able to simplify their healthcare needs post settlement. And as Andrea said, we're looking forward to the future podcast with our members as well as industry leaders, and really looking forward to the podcast. And I'll end just with saying, Shawn, I appreciate, all the work that you've done, as well as your friendship too. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this podcast was born out of a desire to connect with people. And I don't know if I've shared the story of kind of the impetus behind it, but it was really driven out of the pandemic and this idea that we were sort of all going through this shared isolation. And it struck me that what we were going through in the pandemic was probably not much unlike what an injured worker was going through. And maybe it's not entirely analogous, but worrying about the health and safety of ourselves and our families, and worried about the economic climate, and we're hearkening back to things we don't even want to think about, but like workers' compensation is an incredibly technical and highly regulated area. But I mean, remember when the CDC was coming out with guidance, and the state guidance differed, and then the county guidance differed, and then the local municipalities even got into the mix, and all of these things combined got me thinking, oh my gosh, like an injured worker is going through this. And I thought this sort of empathetic response was, would love for them to be able to share their stories. And I think that you both are going to carry on that sort of in that same vein, stories of people who've been injured, but also people from our industry who are making a difference for those folks. So it's been a great run, and I'm so happy and blessed to have been allowed the opportunity to get behind the mic. But I'm so excited to see, John and Andrea, where you take it for the future. And who knows, maybe I'll come back as a guest and be on it, but I'm going to be your number one fan, and always listening to episodes. And I couldn't sign off without thanking Melanie. Melanie Salmeron's been incredible. She's been my partner in crime on this thing, and I know she's going to be hand in hand with you all, shaping the vision and really taking it to the next level. So with that, it's settled. This is Shawn Dean. I'm out, but you got John, Kane, and Andrea Mills here to take care of you in the future. And I hope, I wish everyone just the very best. Thanks. Thanks for joining us for this episode of It's Settled, the Amitros podcast. For more information and episodes, you can visit us at our website at amitros.com. That's ametros.com. Or head over to iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. We hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to sharing more stories of people overcoming their workplace accidents and bodily injury claims, and those who are working hard to make a difference for them. So it's settled. We'll see you next time.